Hey Adventure Kids, it is so great to see you, and we are continuing talking about how God can do some amazing things in your life.
Hey, Pastor Steve.
Oh, hey Pascal, what are you doing?
Oh, well, I made this really cool car all by myself, but I can't get it to work. Every time I go to drive it, it just sits there. I'm so sad. I just don't know what to do. There's no way it will work.
Oh, I'm sorry Pascal, but maybe God can find a way to make your car work. In fact, in our Bible story today, we're going to hear about a group of God's people who found themselves trapped in a very dangerous situation, but God gave them a way out. In fact, that's our Bible point for today. God will always make a way.
I want to hear what happened.
Me too, so let's jump right into our Bible story. Moses and God's people escaped out of Egypt and into the wilderness. They didn't know the way, but God knew the way, and He would show them. I will bring you to a new home, a special land, God promised them. I will look after you. I am with you. God sent a big cloud for them to follow, a pillar of smoke stretching up to the sky. It moved in front of them as they walked and shaded them from the blazing heat of the day. And when it was time to rest, it stopped. All through the cold desert nights, it kept them warm, glowing like a fire. God led His people through the desert and to the edge of a great sea. They were wondering how to cross it when suddenly they heard a terrible thundering and pounding. It sounded almost like horses' hooves. They shaded their eyes to look back and screamed. It was! Pharaoh and his army were coming to get them. Pharaoh had changed his mind again.
"Get my slaves back!"
he screeched and charged out into the desert after them with 600 of his fastest horsemen and every single chariot in Egypt. What were God's people going to do? In front of them was a big sea. It was so big that there was no way around it. But there was no way through it. It was too deep. They didn't have any boats, so they couldn't sail across. And they couldn't swim across because it was too far and they would drown. And they couldn't turn back because Pharaoh was chasing them. They could see the flashing swords now, glinting in the baking sun, and the dust clouds, and chariot after scary chariot surging towards them. So they did the only thing there was left to do: panic.
What do peanut butter and jelly do around the campfire? They tell toast stories. That there was funny. Why did the queen go to the dentist? To get crowns on her teeth. Funny. Why did Jake throw the clock out the window? He wanted to see time fly. That made you laugh. I know it did. Funny. Albert out. Peace.
They could see the flashing swords now, glinting in the baking sun, and the dust clouds, and chariot after scary chariot surging towards them. So they did the only thing there was left to do: panic.
"We're going to die!"
Don't be afraid.
"But there's nothing we can do!"
God knows you can't do anything, but God will do it for you. Trust Him and watch.
"But there's no way out!"
God will make a way.
Another minute, and it would have been over. But the strangest thing happened. God made the pillar of smoke move. It moved behind His people and hid them from the Egyptians. Then God sent a strong east wind to blow all night long. It blew on the water of the big sea. It blew it to the left and blew it to the right, until it blew it into two towering walls of water. And there, right through the middle of the sea, a muddy pathway opened up. and God's people walked across on dry land. When the Egyptians tried to follow, the walls of water crashed back down on them and swallowed them up. God's people were safe. They danced and laughed and sang and thanked God. When there had been no way out, God had made a way. Many years later, once again, God was going to make a way where there was no way. From the beginning, God's children had been running from Him and hiding. God knew His children could never be happy without Him. But they couldn't get back to Him by themselves. They were lost. They didn't know the way back. But God knew the way, and one day He would show them. And that's our story.
Wow! I didn't think God's people were going to get away from Pharaoh, but God made a way for them to escape. Maybe I should ask God for a way to make my car work.
That's right, Pascal. God will always make a way. In fact, that's our Bible point for today. Here, let me see what I can do. Give that a try.
It works! God used you to make my car work. I'm so excited. Let's take this for a spin around the lobby.
All right, have an adventurous week, everyone. You go, Pascal.
So hey Adventure Kids, this is a part of the show where you send in your questions to me, Jake, and I answer them. So let me grab my mailbag. Hi Jake, why does prayer work sometimes and other times it doesn't? From Mariah. That is a good question, Mariah. First of all, prayer isn't like a genie lamp where you get whatever you want. Prayer is talking with God, who sees the big picture in our lives. Sometimes we don't get the answer we want because God knows it wouldn't be good for us. Other times, people who aren't following Jesus do things that affect us. God won't make them do the right thing. Everyone has the free will to make bad choices, even if we pray that they won't. But we know that Jesus is always with us if we walk through difficult, hard, or hurtful places. That was a great question. Hi Jake. Can you move a Hershey kiss from your forehead to your mouth without moving your hands? From Elena. That is a good question. Let's find out. Didn't even use my hands. So remember, if you have questions for me, Jake, just go to the website takeawaywithjake.com and I'll be happy to answer your questions right here on the show.